We're going to talk about the chakra system, and that includes learning about emotional awareness. We're going to learn about imbalances of the chakras and how to balance them. And then we'll end with a sound meditation that Jeremiah will guide us through. Okay, so let's see. So we believe that understanding the chakra system will help you understand yourself better. It's really about connecting to your body and your emotions and listening to the intuition within. There we go. Okay. So what is a chakra? Chakras are energy centers that hold information in the form of light, energy, and emotions. The word chakra simply means a spinning wheel. It's a spinning wheel of energy in the body. And there's a picture of a body there with the chakras lined up. And so you can see that there's light and the energy is moving out of the body and those wheels spin. So each chakra sends out a vibrational energy and also receives energy. The chakras feed energy to the glands and the organs of the physical body. So if a chakra is depleted, it will show up in our body through pain or disease or other ways that the body will tell us that we need to work with those chakras. So have you ever felt any of the following of these things? You may have had trouble sleeping for no reason, or just constantly worried about the past or future, or maybe you had a difficult time receiving a gift or a compliment. Or on the positive side, maybe you were completely confident in your speech or actions, or had a profound thought that brought some clarity into your life. Or maybe you just had a gut feeling that turned out to be true. Well, if you felt any of these things, you have listened to your chakra system and it's talking to you, telling you whether it's imbalanced or balanced. So when your chakras are imbalanced, you can feel it emotionally, physically, and mentally, and also spiritually. And becoming aware of your chakras can help you balance your energy. So you don't have to know everything about the chakras. It's a system that's very intricate, but you can learn simple little things to work with them and practice these things through simple techniques. And we're going to share some of those techniques with you today. So we're going to share our story. I'm going to let Jeremiah share his first.
Yeah, because mine's a little more longer, but I had to shorten it down. And basically my story in the short form is our family was in need of help and years ago, and traditional Western medicine wasn't helping us. And we were needing to move forward with our kids and trying to raise a family and working on our marriage. And so we went to an energy healing conference where we were introduced to many different energy healings, or modalities is what they call them. And we were able to see energy move right in front of our eyes. And it was very interesting. But then they also backed it up with science and made it even more cool. At least for me, because I want to see the proof before I really dive in and trust something. And it was there that I fell in love with the tuning forks, and I watched these tuning forks be used on people, and I was seeing physical things happen to them. And then they also showed the science behind it, which then led me to dive deeper into it as how and why it worked. Anyway, long story short, it led me to become a certified practitioner in biofield tuning, which Eileen Day McCusick is the creator of it. But I went and took several courses through her to become certified, and it's been a great thing ever since. It did help me to get through some depression and quite a bit of depression and sadness, working with my daughter, who was 16 at the time, but there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't prepared for. And so the sound healing therapy helped me to move through a lot of my past traumas, and then also deal with the traumas that I was going through raising teenagers. And then it still helps me today move forward each day, especially during all this COVID stuff going on. Sound healing's been very impactful in my life, and I've been, at first I wanted to try to heal the world or heal everybody, and then I had to rein myself back a little bit to where um, I'm finding balance, and that it really helps with the chakras and balancing everything. Is that um, energy healing works, and sometimes you can't describe it, but it's also you could describe it depending on how deep you want to go with physics or quantum physics or Einstein's theories and stuff like that. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. And now we'll let Amber tell her story.
Jeremiah, can I
Yeah.
ask you a question first?
Yes.
When you said you saw energy moving, like, can you describe what that was like?
Yes, I can. It was so I was pretty skeptical at first, and I was watching a gal perform biofield tuning on somebody in a auditorium kind of setting. So everything was busy. There was people walking back and forth. It's very noisy. You can't barely hear the tuning fork in this room. But the gal that was working on this other person sitting in a chair, she's 6 feet away from the person, and from 6 feet away, you can see like her lips quivering, and you could just see physical changes in the body. You could almost see as if they started glowing when they were done with the session. And then they also had a biofield viewer that they did a presentation with. So this biofield viewer is basically a camera that looks at your body, and it sees kind of your aura. And so you have different colors, greens and reds and purples and yellows. And as they're working on you with the tuning forks, you can actually physically see those colors start to change inside that person. And so then I thought, well, this is kind of interesting. And of course, I had to sign up for a session to see what it was like. And once you sit down and you start to feel the energy move, like, I mean, you just feel, it almost feels like that rushing, like just before you pass out kind of feeling. Like you almost get dizzy, but you're not really dizzy, but it's kind of it's just a different feeling, and you can just feel the energy moving. And but then I was also seeing it, and I just can't.
Yeah, and for some people, the emotions would come up and they would just start tearing up, or they were releasing some of the emotions, and you could see that happen right before our very eyes. It's very amazing
Yeah,
experience.
it's a technique that it goes really deep into basically your body's working on itself, and you don't really need to tell anybody what you're going through, because your body just naturally knows what to do and knows how to heal itself. So it's bringing up that stuff that needs to be gone through.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
You're very
Yeah.
welcome.
So for my story, it's a little bit more personal. Years ago, when we started our healing journey, I was becoming more aware of conscious living and looking back on my life and thinking about all these things that I wish I had done differently. So I was really regretting some things in my past, and I started to become a big critic of myself and emotionally beat myself up. So by doing that, I developed a physical pain in one of my ovaries, actually. And the pain became almost unbearable to the point where I was ready to go to the doctor and see what was going on. But I'm kind of the kind of a person that waits it out a bit. So before I called the doctor, I just kind of sat down and took a few breaths. And in that moment, I just had a thought that I needed to forgive myself and let go of the past and really um, accept my journey. And I did my best for where I was in the past. And now that I had new awareness, just it doesn't mean that I can change my past. It just means that I do better as I go through the future. So I just took a moment and I felt compelled to look at myself in the mirror and just forgive myself for all of those things that I regretted or wish I had done differently. And as I was doing that, my pain started to lessen. It just kind of weakened until it was completely gone. And I was a little bit into energy, but not to the extent where I was aware of what I was doing. So I later found out that the ovaries are connected to the sacral chakra. And that chakra, when it's imbalanced, can bring up guilt and shame. So I was feeling so much guilt and regret that I was actually causing an imbalance in my sacral chakra, and that caused physical pain. So by me just working with the emotions, I didn't even know I was working with that chakra. But by working with it and balancing it through forgiving myself, I released the physical pain. And from that moment on, I knew I had to work with the chakra system on a deeper level. So it was just life changing for me. And then from there, through both of our experiences, which were right around the same time, we decided to create Mystic Meadows Healing. And we did that because we wanted to help empaths and intuitives and mystics, people who believe in the energetic realm and things beyond the physical, because we are connected to everything and there is an energy around us that we can work with. And we want to help those people connect to the wisdom within, because we do believe in self-healing, and we believe in doctors and those kinds of things too. But we really want to help people find hope and rejuvenation and support so that they can heal and awaken and just go on a journey and experience that wisdom within themselves. Oh. It only likes Jeremiah to flip the screen. Okay.
All right. So this is how the energy of the body works. We have this toroidal field that goes out and around our bodies, kind of like what you're seeing here. And that's kind of the best picture that I could get. But your energy comes out of the body and it goes out and around and back in, but it also goes up and out and around. And so that's what these little guys here are signifying is, your chakra energy is going out into your field. And then out here, this little black dot that we have, that's where maybe you'd have a past trauma. And that past trauma, coming out of, let's say, oh, that's close to the heart chakra. We'll say, heart, throat area. That past trauma that you may have had when you were 2 years old, or maybe even at gestation or birth, could be causing you right shoulder pain. Even though this dot, like pretend this guy's facing us, and it looks like that dot is on the left side of the body, which would be your feminine side. It could be affecting the right shoulder, because what it's doing is that energy is going out into the field and it's getting stuck. And so it's like pulling, that edge of the field's pulling. And so that's pulling, and the other side's having to compensate for that. And so what we do with energy healing is we bring in basically a noise canceling frequency, and it works through that pain and trauma. We're not like making the pain and trauma disappear. Basically what we do is it's like bringing a flashlight into a dark room and showing you that there's a block right in the middle of the floor that you keep tripping over. And so we bring awareness to that block. And then once that block is you're aware of it, then the pain in the body, physically or emotionally, just goes away. And so, like I said, the left side of the body is more the feminine side. The right side of the body is your masculine side. And kind of like rings of a tree, you can find the same traumas on both sides of the body. It doesn't necessarily mean because this is on one side that it was, on your mom's side. It could have been something that happened from a masculine energy sometime in your life. But
and the other thing Jeremiah can sense is the age that you received that trauma, which is kind of cool. So then you can go back and look in your past and see maybe what caused that trauma, or things that came into your life that even it may not be a huge trauma, just something that you were told, like to be quiet, or something little like that caused a limiting belief to enter your field, and then that affects your actions and your thoughts later in life.
Right.
So that can be cleared from your energy field.
Like one of the limiting beliefs that I was told as a kid was children are to be seen and not heard. Well, that would cause a problem in your throat chakra, and it's gonna silence your throat to where you're not wanting to speak out. You're not, you're afraid to be heard, and so, to work with like the throat chakra, we would do something like humming, singing, yelling, screaming. I mean, whatever to get that energy flowing out of the throat, and also. There was one more thing I wanted to say about the energies, but that's all right. So yeah, we work a lot with the life force or chi. There is the 7 basic chakras that we work with, but I also work with half chakras, and there's quite a bit more to the rest of the energy work. And anyway, once you release that stuck energy, then you can be free and start to live a happy, wholesome life again.
Yeah, so now we're going to go through the 7 main chakras. So you'll see those chakras, where they are, and we'll talk about the imbalance of each one, how to balance it, and some simple practices you can do.